Well, here I am. Got a little bit extra time, so I am going to tear this down. And yeah, yep. I'm going to tear this down and at least clean it up, and should be able to put it back together, especially since I've done the other side. So, there we go. Special tools with this really help. This is a tool that's made for taking these little springs off. It sits in there and it frictions, so you can push and turn. It's got slots that you can see because these are a pinched end, and so this is a halfway. It goes in one way, quarter turn, and it's locked. So that's beautiful for doing that. And then we also have this tool, which looks pretty funky. It's a fancy pliers deal. But the end I use that, by far the most is this end for taking springs off, and this end for putting springs on, because these puppies are tight. So let me show you how that works on this top spring. It goes over the stud. There's a stud right here. I know it's kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can get you a little closer. There's a pin right here that these two springs attach to, and you could take a pliers, a vice grip, and attach onto here and pull like heck to get this off this way. It's not fun. But if we put this on this pin and just turn it, we get behind that spring and boom, it's done. And what I try to do, is as I take these off, especially if you don't do this every day, kind of lay them out the way that they were on there, so you can keep track of what's what. Let's see. Of course, things are seized up and stiff, dirty, everything else. Yeah, and these are all single-use tools. Like this guy is a single use. You've got like half-ton size there and a 3/4 ton size there. And I tell you what, without that tool, you are going to be hating life for a bit, because it makes a world of difference. So I took pictures, a bunch of pictures the other side. This is where the digital age is beautiful. Between being able to go online to look at pictures of brakes apart and together, you can also take pictures of your own. I took a bunch of pictures of the other side, so I hope they have a clue, right? So I get this back together. So this lever down here, if you can see it, this is also dark, but this lever is the self-adjusting lever that was attached to the spring in a solid arm that came across to the top. This side has a spring to bring the shoe back in. This side has a solid lever, but a spring that's attached. The solid lever goes between the adjuster arm and the pin. And what happens is when you go in reverse and you step on the brakes, the whole assembly wants to rotate clockwise in this case. And so what happens is that solid arm makes this push against the adjuster. And every time you step on the brakes, it opens it up just a little bit. So the theory is that you don't back up all the time and make your brakes too tight, but you back up just enough in normal use that you keep the shoes continuing outward so that they wear like they should, and you get the life out of them that you should. That's why in a lot of probably more half-ton applications, there's a slot in behind this adjuster that you can get at with a screwdriver or one of these tools, which is a brake adjuster tool. You can get at that to adjust them tighter if they need to be, or if they've over tightened to adjust them loose. In this case, I'll show you when I go to put it on. There's a lot of on and off, because you want to get them adjusted to where they're just on the edge of drag the shoes onto the drum, so that when you step on the brakes, they don't have a mile to go before they catch. So they're right there. Old technology with front disc brakes or disc brakes in the rear, of course you have the advantage of less weight. You also have the advantage of there's no adjuster, because as the brakes wear, the cylinder just adapts for that, and it starts to grow, and that's a lot of times you can tell the life of your brakes or where your brakes are at if nobody's been in them just by looking at the master cylinder underneath the hood, at how full the fluid is. And most newer vehicles it's plastic, and so you can see that level, and if that level is down from where it says full is, you can be assured, as long as your brakes are still working properly, that you have some wear on the brakes, and it's using that extra fluid to fill that void or that gap between the friction material and whatever, whether it's a drum or a disc. So in this case, there's a leak somewhere in the system. I think perhaps my brake cylinders here had been leaking. I know it looks like there's a little puddle in the front. So when I go through the fronts, I'm sure I'll end up having to replace some parts there too. But brakes are good. Brakes are safety. I know that they only slow you down, but that's not always bad either. Okay, we'll just do this. So, yeah, see, everything just kind of falls apart as you get down to the end of it here. Of course, in something like this, I end up with stuff that's kind of seized in there. This adjuster arm should come off from that plate. There's a pin. Holds that in. Good. There's a sleeve in there that holds that in. And that I don't really want to destroy, because I know from the other side that the sleeve that came with the kit is too big for these shoes. So, yay, got it off. Yep. And then what's left is the parking brake arm. You can see how that's attached to this cable here, which of course goes up to the front of the vehicle. This is attached with an E-clip, so I'll need to get a smaller screwdriver for that one. Okay, so that's got an E-clip on there that once you get some of the slime cleaned off, you can see there's a couple indents, so you can get a pick, which I don't have here, or a screwdriver in, and just gently, carefully twist it out. I know that the kit comes with a new one, so I'm not too afraid about losing it. I've got a buddy that calls these "Oh Jesus" clips, because usually when you take them out, they end up flying across the shop, and you go, "Oh Jesus, what happened to that clip?" So there, I got it off. It's called an E-clip, and you know, some things in vehicles are very scientific. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this or not. I'll try to. Yeah, well, I'll put it on the towel here. That's an E-clip because it's shaped kind of like an E. It's like a C, but it's got a hump in the middle, so it's an E. So, done with that. Okay, so then this will come off with some persuasion. Because this thing is slimy. There. So both shoes are off. E-brake is just loose there. Thinking that this did leak a little bit. This is because the seal was decent on the hub, but not great, and it's all slimy dirty there. So it's cleanup time. It's time to get some more brake fluid, or brake clean rather, and you know, stuff like this. Clean that up. That's, you know, you can't see it there, but it has threads on this. This thing needs to turn in order for this to work. In order for it to adjust the brakes. The other side is just as bad as this. So, yeah. Here's my adjuster. Okay, well, I'm gonna get this cleaned up. There's 2 bolts on the back side of this brake cylinder. There's a line, 3/8 line, that I have to take off, and the cylinder come off, and you'll see some of that probably here in a minute or at some point. But this is where I'll leave you for now, so I can get some of this stuff cleaned up at least, and hopefully get some stuff put on. So we will check with you later.